Yeah, so let's start a very interesting topic called modulus. Now, the way the questions are drafted, right? Most of the cases, I would rather see if I were the examiner, understand the examiner's point of view. Linear equations and linear inequalities not too much of a difference. So there it is expected that you get at least one question from either linear equations. So the chance of a linear inequality, I would say, is slightly less. Right? If I were to give you a question on quadratic equation, I would rather give you a quadratic equation based inequality. Right? Point number one. If paper is very slightly tougher, you might get a quadratic inequality with included modulus. That is also a very commonly asked question in the examination. So all that we are doing a binary inequality or modulus is we'll here also will be taking a linear expression with respect to modulus. Either it will be equal to something or it will be greater than something. Clear? So we are again looking at linear modulus with equations, or I'm looking at within the modulus quadratic equation with equation and with inequation also. So in a way we are applying the same. We have to just understand the functionality of these. The way in inequalities the functionality was, if you have denominator as x, you cannot cross multiply. Second very important point of inequality is you cannot multiply inequalities when they are negative. Third important point of inequalities is when I'm multiplying with a negative number, my inequality also changes. These are some prima facie ones, right? So that way, I'm sure if you sum it up, you might not get more than 7 or 8 important points in inequalities. Go back, look at all the questions, make those 9 or 10 important points come. That sums up here because you are capable enough of handling equations, quadratic equations also. Clear? Same way, what we'll do is we'll understand the functionality of modulus. What do I mean by modulus? If you understand that perfectly, then again it's a game of equations. Nothing more than that. Okay. So I'm sure all of us heard what is the meaning of modulus. What is the definition of modulus? Mod x is equal to x. If x is greater than 0, mod x is equal to minus x. If x is less than 0, right? Yeah, this is all that we are holding on, right? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. But how many of us are strong at this topic? Anyone? We just know one. So the simple understanding is modulus of any number is nothing but a positive output. Whatever you input within these two lines, be it a positive number or be it a negative number, I know the output comes out to be positive. Yes.
So the audio and video are breaking, sir.
I guess again some network issue. Just 1 second.
Yeah. So whatever I give as an input here, right? The output is always going to be positive. So as I mentioned in the first case, we are interested in the magnitude or the value rather than the sign of it. Clear? And then any value coming out of modulus will always be positive or equal to 0. It can never be equal to a negative value. Yeah. So in short, if I ask you mod x is less than 0, what do I get? Mod x is less than 0.
Null set.
Exactly right. The answer is null set. No such value satisfies. I'm not asking what is the value of x. I'm asking you mod x is less than 0. Is it ever possible? A mod of any value, as you this point is, a mod will always be either positive or equal to 0, but it will never ever be a negative value. So mod of anything can never be less than 0. Please understand that. Here, so the answer here becomes null set. That is not at all possible always. Here, what if I give you mod x is less than or equal to 0? So less than 0, no chance. Equal to 0, only one value. X is equal to 0 is the point which will satisfy this equation. Yeah, right? So therefore the behavior of a square and the modulus are always same. Because that's what we learned in the previous class. Remember, the square of any real number is always greater than or equal to 0, and that is what we are defining here also. That modulus of any value given to you will always be either 0 or greater than 0. Clear, right? Now let's look at this question, guys. Mod x is equal to 4. What are the values of x? 4 or minus 4. This is what we are looking at, guys. So understand, if I'm taking that x is equal to 4. So the technical meaning or the if I reinterpret the technical definition, if I take x is equal to 4 and I input the value here, I know mod x will always be 4 only. Now this is what we are saying. If x is greater than 0, mod x is equal to x only. Clear? Right? Now, the other value that we always understand is if I input a value of minus 4, right? So mod of minus 4 we know is equal to 4. Clear? Mod of minus 4 is equal to 4. But how do I get 4? The 4 is nothing but minus into minus 4. Clear? So in this case, I know the value of x is equal to minus 4. If the value of x is equal to minus 4, which means can I say the output is minus of x? Now this is what we are technically explaining. If x is less than 0, this is a point which is classifying as x to be less than 0. If x is less than 0, check mod x is equal to minus of x. Because minus of that negative value will only give me a positive value always. So whatever input I give inside, I would always get a positive output. Okay, this is a mathematical definition of modulus. Now let me explain you a very practical explanation of modulus. Okay, so if I just erase this part off. Now this definition is something, I'm going to be very honest. When I wrote my CAT, okay, so I wrote in the year 2008, and those days, the thumb rule used to be if you get 1/3 of the paper correct, Ahmedabad convert ho jaye. Because those days, academic marks, GDPI was not so predominantly dominant. Right, the competition was lesser in short. So you get 1/3 of the total CAT paper, and then you're through with Ahmedabad. So and those days, the modules which are dominating were arithmetic and numbers. So to be very frank, when I cracked my CAT, I got arithmetic and numbers perfectly right, and I ensured that I got a 99.96 in. Right. So when I started teaching, that is when I started learning modulus, and when I learned this definition of modulus, I fell in love with modulus. It eliminates all the complications. Okay. Now if I draw this on a graph, just understand on a graph. Okay. I know that the values are either 4 or the values are minus 4. Only two values. The value of x is equal to 4 or the value of x is equal to minus 4. Okay. Now suppose I give you just the value called x. What is the 0 of this point? 0 only. So if I give you only x, I know that the proof of this point is 0. Okay. So if I have mod x is equal to 0, which means I am standing at the point called 0. Okay. Mod x is equal to 4. So in short, if you're standing at a point called 0 on the x-axis, if the question says equal to 4, I have to walk 4 units on the x-axis. Are you able to understand? So 4 units on the x-axis, I can either go right hand side or I can go left hand side. Clear? So if I'm standing at 0, 4 units on my right hand side is plus 4. 4 units on the left hand side is minus 4. My answers are plus 4 and is this point clear with everyone? Online, I guess there was somebody who was trying to ask something. Yeah.
Mic on.
I don't get you.
Mic on रह गया था.
अच्छा ठीक है, कोई लोड. Clear with everyone? Right. So this is a very practical definition which will help you to solve a lot of linear, modulus or linear inequality with respect to modulus. So inequality तो बाद में जाएंगे. Suppose let's try to connect it here only. Instead of mod x is equal to 4, suppose I give you x, let's say minus 2 is equal to 4. Now understand it very practically. Practically समझो without putting your pen or give the answer. So go step by step. We'll discuss this also in the coming question. But since I'm explaining the practical definition, let's understand. for x minus 2 to be equal to 0. What is the root of this point, or what is the 0 of this point? 2. If the 0 of this point is 2, which means I am sitting at a point called 2. Right? And the question says is equal to 4, which means I have to cross 4 units on my x-axis. If I want to travel 4 units on my x-axis, I can go 4 units on my right-hand side of x-axis. So 2 से 4 जाएंगे तो एक point क्या आएगा आपको? 6 आएगा. Clear? Answering on 2, I have to go 4 on my left. So if I'm going 4 on my left, I get what? Minus 2. So your answer becomes minus 2 and 6 becomes your answer. Replace NC, you get the same answer. So you need not get into the technical mathematical definitions and rules. Clear? So instead of going step by step through the PPT, let's connect everything here. Now let's understand inequality with respect to modulus. Suppose I give you mod x is greater than 4 here. Let's understand less than 4. Suppose I give you mod x. Yeah. Mod x, let's say, is less than 4. Understand the definition again? So I am again sitting at a point 0. When I am saying equal to 4, which means I have to go 4 exactly on my right and I have to go 4 exactly on my left. Now I am telling you less than 4. If I am telling you less than 4, which means can I say I can cover any distance less than 4 on my right and less than 4 on my left. So any distance less than 4 on my right will be this part. Here, any distance less than 4 on my left will be this part. So can I say this complete part is what I am covering up? So same condition, equal to 4 होगा तो 4 and minus 4 हो जाएगा आपका. Clear? Less than 4 होगा मतलब understand it very logically. I'm saying these are my 2 points. Less than 4 is between both the points. So therefore I would say minus 4 greater than x less than 4. This becomes your value of modulus. Clear? So just understand logically. Okay, I want to cover a distance between these 2 points. So you need not write it in. Similarly, greater than 4 होगा तो क्या होगा? Away from these 2 points. So I'm standing here. When I say greater than 4, I go away from these 2 points. So if you are given, so learn the application of these guys. Don't worry, I'm explaining all of them at one go only. If I'm giving you greater than 4, again, first assume this to be an equation. If this is an equation, my points are 4 and my other point is minus 4. Now understand modulus ka definition. We have to go beyond 4. So any value of x greater than 4 will satisfy. Right? Union any value of x less than minus 4 will satisfy. So greater than 4 will satisfy. Less than minus 4 will also satisfy. So this is how you also solve a logical based solve. So every question what?
సార్ సింపుల్ గా ఇటు సైడ్ మోడ్ తీసేసి LH సైడ్ మోడ్ తీసేసి రైట్ హ్యాండ్ సైడ్ ప్లస్ ఆర్ మైనస్ పెడితే సరిపోతుంది సార్.
Right hand side plus or minus పెడితే
Yeah, you can also do that. Yeah, there's no problem. Clear? Let's understand. Let's look at each and every mathematically also. We'll look at it mathematically. Okay. So you have both the ways of solving. One mathematical, second logical. Logical is very easy to understand. Now it should be very easy. But understand mathematical also, because sometimes if you are stuck, mathematical value bails us out. Mathematically, logic सब पर. Mathematically क्या होता है वो हम पूछ रहे हैं. See, my job is to get you an answer in the exam at any cost. If you have a simple question on modulus, you should be able to solve. Sometimes there will be a simple question on modulus. Now, just because it might sound weird to you, you should not believe it. That's the whole idea of this exercise. You can afford to leave algebra sometimes in the exam, but if you get an easy question of algebra, crack. Out of 6, I bet guys 3 will be easy questions. Right? So whenever you James Bond arithmetic way of going ahead, geometry का easy question 3 पक्का होगा. Doable. Similarly, algebra का 3 तो पक्का होगा. So last year I guess we had around 12 questions on arithmetic. You pick 3 from geometry, you pick 3 from algebra. You're getting 18 questions down. 18 questions down was 99.02, 99.03. All the 12 of arithmetic did. Yeah, so that should be a complete what you call it, idea already. So mathematically, what do I mean, guys? So remember, if I need to solve mathematically within the mod, whatever is the value, that is more important to me. I would rather take this as since x is already used. Understand this. I would rather say, let's say mod a is equal to 2 is given to us. Okay. Mod a is equal to 2 is given to us, and I'm representing a as x minus 3. Okay. Now let's go back to the mathematical definition. That if a is greater than 0, then mod a is equal to a. Right? So mod a is equal to 2. Right? If a is greater than 0, which means, I repeat, do not say if x is greater than 0. If x minus 3 is greater than 0. I repeat, if a is greater than 0, what is a? A is x minus 3. Here, if x minus 3 is greater than 0, which means if x is greater than 3, then mod a will be equal to a. So what is a? A is x minus 3. So I'm saying x minus 3 is equal to 2, which means the value of x is equal to 5. The problem with modulus certainly comes where you have to ensure that these two are matching. Are these two matching? Because I am in this situation, understand mathematically, I am in this situation because of this value. X has to be greater than 3. I'll trap you in coming questions. Don't. There will be a few traps. Only then you'll understand what does this mean. Okay? So x has to be greater than 3 and x is equal to 5. Are they matching? Yes. So one of the values is 5, which is definitely correct. Clear? Understand mathematically again? If x minus 3 is less than 0, which means if x is less than 3, then what happens? Mod a will be minus 3. Okay. So what is a here? Now it is x minus 3. So mod a will be minus of a. I'm going very slow. Mod a is minus a if a is less than 0. So what is a? X minus 3. Mod a, I have to remove the modulus sign. To remove the modulus sign, this becomes minus a. Now I calculate this is equal to 2. So what do I get? I get minus x plus 3 is equal to 2. Or you get minus x is equal to minus 1, or you get x is equal to 1. Again, don't be in a hurry to conclude. Cross check. Are these two matching? Yes, and therefore these are my two answers. Clear? Right? So in modulus, your first job is get rid of modulus. First things first, get rid of modulus sign. To get rid of modulus sign, mathematically I do these things. Right? But remember, anything within the mod is to be considered. Here you cannot say x greater than 0 or x less than 0. If you are taking x greater than 0, this will satisfy. If you are taking x less than 0, this is not satisfying. Please speak carefully. So it is not x greater than 0, x less than 0. Anything within the mod. Understand the definition of mod. Whatever is there within the mod, that comes out as positive or that comes out as negative values. Clear? Right? So stressing a lot on this point, but yeah, I think maybe after 2 or 3 questions you will be able to understand. Let's solve this, please. Find all the possible values of x if x square minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. So I repeat, within the mod, what do you have? Within the mod, you have only a value called x. So let's start with the first assumption. For all the values of x greater than 0, mod x will be written as x only. So I remove the modulus sign. So this becomes x square minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. Mod x will be x only. So we get rid of modulus sign. So if this is the case, what do I get as a roots? So I get minus 3 and minus 2. So therefore the roots become 3, 2. Clear? No range. So it is 3, are the values of x which are there. But what is the condition? X is greater than 0. Are these satisfying? Yes, these two are satisfying. So therefore these two are acceptable. I'm not done here. Okay. So what am I looking at here? So I will look at this as if x is less than 0. Right? If x is less than 0, mod x will be equal to minus x. So remember, x square minus 5. I am removing the modulus sign. If I am removing the modulus sign, this becomes minus x. I am going step by step. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you would have quickly figured it out. Plus 6 is equal to 0. So what is happening? Minus into minus becomes plus. So this would be written as x square plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. Clear? If this is the case, then I'm getting the roots as minus 2 and minus 3. Right? So are these two also the values that are satisfying the range? Yes, this is also satisfying. So therefore you have 4 possible values, which are 2, 3 and minus 2, minus 3. Clear? Going step by step and understanding the whole concept here. Yeah, let's solve this please.
Same one, sir.
No, the sign has changed now. This is x square plus 5x plus 6. Are you saying answer is same?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
You'll have 0 values of x satisfying the equation or no value of x. Let's understand why no value of x. So again, I repeat, do not get trapped. This is where the concept of modulus goes for a trap. My underlying condition is x should be greater than 0. If x is greater than 0, mod x will be just x only. Clear? So if you are solving this equation, please remember the roots of this equation are minus 3 and minus 2. Now, you cannot consider these two because I repeat, as I told you, this is where we have to ensure that these two are matching. I get my 3 and minus 3 and minus 2 as the roots with an assumption that x is greater than 0. If x is greater than 0, I cannot have x as a negative value. So therefore, these two values will not satisfy. Is this point clear with everyone? Clear? Right. Now, same thing with the other side. If x is less than 0, I go with x square. Mod x will become minus x plus 6 is equal to 0. So in short, what do I have? I have x square minus x plus 6 is equal to 0. If I have this as my equation, then I get the value of x as 3, 2. Now again, 3, 2 are two positive values, but I have had the assumption that x is less than 0. So please appreciate the fact neither these two values will satisfy. Now that is where mod becomes tricky sometimes. Clear? So mathematically, if you go ahead, the answer for this question becomes no value will satisfy. Clear? Yeah, let's solve this please. Yes, please. One second.
Jasmita, you cannot get -6 in one Amma. Just check once again.
Because the product is positive, just before. In the previous question, the product of the roots is positive. Yeah, so again the same concept is anything within the mod has to be positive, anything within the mod has to be negative. So what is within the mod? I have x minus 2 within the mod. So I'll start with the underlying mathematical way. If x minus 2 is greater than 0, which means for this, my final value of x has to be greater than 2. If this is the case, then I would write x square is equal to just as it is x minus 2. Right? Or in short, when we transpose the values, I get x square minus x plus 2 is equal to 0. So what do I get as the roots here? Imaginary. So b square minus 4ac. I have given imaginary roots. So therefore, no value, no real value of x satisfies this condition. No problem. Okay. Now, second case, if x minus 2 is less than 0, which means if x is less than 2. If x is less than 2, I repeat, mod x becomes minus x. Or I would say minus a. Mod a becomes minus a. So minus of whatever is there in the mod comes down. Clear? So that would give me what now here? So this would give me x square plus x minus 2 is equal to 0. So what do I have? Plus 2 and minus 1. Plus 2 and minus 1 means minus 1 comma. Sorry, plus 2 and minus 2 comma. Yeah. Clear? So if I have minus 2 comma 1, now the simple fact that I'm looking at here is x should be less than 2. Now are these two values less than 2? Yes, these two values are less than 2. So therefore my answers are minus 2 comma 1 will be satisfying the given equation. Clear? Just remove the mod and apply video answer to this. Two or four? 4 values? 2 values. Okay. 4 comma minus 4. Okay. Good guys. 4 comma minus 4. Yeah, let's look at this case. So I would again take the same thing within the mod. I have only x. So I'm taking if x is greater than. Yeah. So what do I get? I get x square minus 2x minus 8 is greater than or equal to 0. Yeah. So what are the roots of this equation? So minus 4 and plus 2, right? Which means minus 2 comma 4 are the roots. Or let us write like this. One second. So I have x plus 4, right? X plus 4 into x minus 2. So x minus 4 x minus 4 into x minus x plus 2. If this is the case, then what am I looking at? What is the range? Greater than or equal to 0 is given to me. So what are my roots? My roots are 4. That means x will be greater than 4. Right? Union x will be less than or equal to minus 2. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Am I correct? Sure. Right? Now, the point is, as per this, or let me draw this on a number line. Let's not be in a hurry. So I have one root as a 4, the other root as a minus 2. The sign is greater than or equal to. So this zone will satisfy, number 1. At the same time, this zone will satisfy as per this inequality, including 4 and minus. But since this is a question of modulus, my job is to cross check with the base equation. What is the base underlying assumption? That is x is greater than 0. If x is greater than 0, and then only these values will satisfy. So when you give me two values, you assume equal to 0. Huh? See how carefully you are reading the question in the class itself. Right? So the answer for the first part gives me is from 4 to positive infinity. Okay? From 4 to positive infinity, both including is okay. Similarly, opposite side, x less than 0. This becomes x square minus 2 times of minus x minus 8 is greater than or equal to 0. So this becomes what now? This becomes x square plus 2x minus 8 will be greater than or equal to 0. If you solve this, you get this as x plus 4 into x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. It is the same concept, guys. So I have a root called minus 4 and I have a root called 2. And I am going greater than or equal to 0. So therefore this portion will satisfy and this portion will satisfy. Clear? So again I have to cross check with the inequality. So I'm looking at all the values x less than 0 to satisfy. So all the values x less than 0 to satisfy would give me these values. So the second zone which is with us is minus infinity to minus 4. Both should be on this. Clear? So this is how you solve an ideal modulus involved with an inequality. This is not as same as mod of x minus 2 greater than. Yeah, just a modulus involved somewhere. So I repeat, your first job is remove the modulus sign, solve the equation or inequation. So don't forget the basics. That is where modulus based questions becomes more important. But now if you understand the functionality of it, this is not a difficult one. The only thing is examiner is testing 2 to 3 things at the same shot. Examiner is testing one, this point are you assuming or not? Examiner is making the question automatically lengthy. By bringing mod, I bring 2 cases. 2 cases are already there. Inequality you have to apply. Quadratic anyway is there. So it's a quadratic based question, inequality based question, modulus based question. So one shot way you are being checked 3 different things. And please appreciate this question might take a little longer time as compared to normal quadratic equations question. So if you see more of these kind of questions in the examination, that means the examination is slightly on a lengthier side or tougher side. It can be synonymous. For me, tough also means lengthy questions. Right? So there's no very difficult question. So it's always that they give you certain questions which you are not able to solve in less than 2 minutes or less than 3 minutes. Sometimes 4 minutes. Let's say 2018. 12 to 13 questions in 1 hour was a very easy. 13 questions in 1 hour. 2018 was the toughest in last 8 or 9 years. Apart from that, we had easy papers. 19 was moderate. 20 was also moderate. And 15, 16, 17 were very easy. Right. So if it's a tough paper, I can assume that in that tough paper, trust me, is very easy. Because this will not take more than 3 minutes to solve. But for a normal student, this becomes tough. So that is how you start understanding, and that is why this becomes a favorite topic of the exam. Clear? So go step by step. I repeat, check what is it? Quadratic, first point. X power 2 is quadratic. Second cross check point, inequality. Clear? And then I come to the third cross check point, modulus. So let me go step by step, simplify all of them and get my answer neatly. Don't be wrong. Clear? A beautiful question. Just try to think about it and see what are you get. That's it. Okay. So what am I looking at? So how many of you observe that both the equations are same? Did you observe both the equations are same? So if I represent this as A, if I represent this as A, so can I say the question is asking you mod A is greater than A? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Now for what values of A will mod A be greater than A? Think about it. Let's understand. So if I take A is equal to 2, okay, what is mod 2? Mod 2 will be equal to 2, right? So can I say for any positive value of A, mod A will be equal to A? Understand the definition? So mod A is always equal to A. So no positive value will satisfy. Is this point clear? Any value greater than or equal to 0 will not satisfy. Suppose I take A is equal to -2. Okay. Now what is -2? Mod of -2. Mod of -2 is equal to 2. Clear? Right? So can I say mod A? I repeat, A is equal to -2. Don't get confused. Right? Mod A, can I say is always greater than A for all the negative values only? I repeat, mod of -2 is 2. 2 is always greater than -2. Is this point clear? Online students. Right? So in short, instead of solving this, mathematically or something, all you could directly do is, I know that mod A will be greater than A if and only if the value of A is less than 0. See, mathematically also you can go ahead and calculate, no problem. Clear? So if you understand this, which means to satisfy this inequality, I have to satisfy only one thing, that x square minus 8x minus 9 should be less than 0. Right? So if I'm going out of these lines, then what do I get here? X minus 9 and x minus 9 into x plus 1, right? X plus 1 is less than 0. So what are my roots? My roots are minus 1 and 9. The sign is less than. So therefore my answer becomes x is greater than minus 1 and x is less than. Yeah, so that should be your required answer.
So what mod A is less than
Mod A, you tell me, will mod A be less than? Clear, everyone? Right? You want to go mathematically, I think you can also go mathematically, but in that case, what you have to assume? If x square minus 8x minus 9 is greater than 0. Oh, already inequality was there. Right? And then you solve this and get one more inequality. So now you have to solve more inequalities, which might become very weird and very cumbersome. So there's a catch because this is one of the actual catch questions. The catch here is that is where you observe both the equations are same. If both the equations are same, then you try a different approach. It's not that that method is not possible, but it will become very weird and very difficult. Clear? So you'll get one range by assuming this greater than 0. Then you solve the inequality, you get another range, and then you match both the range. And then you get the required answers. Clear? So that again depends on how neatly you are drawing the graph and all. Clear? Right? Let's move to the next one, please. Our easy question. Mod of x minus 2 is equal to 5. Yeah, let's see this guys. So practical approach, mathematical approach, right? So if I go mathematically, we have to take x minus 2 is greater than 0, which means for this to be satisfied, x has to be greater than. Yeah, I'll just explain one question mathematically and then I'll keep on moving forward. Okay. So if this is the case, then mod A is equal to A, which means I get x minus 2 as it is equal to 5, or in short, I get x is equal to 7. If x is equal to 7, is this matching? Yes, so 7 is one of my answers. Clear? Second case I'm looking at here is if x minus 2 is less than 0. If x minus 2 is less than 0, then what am I looking at? X has to be less than 2. So mod A is now going to be minus A. Clear? So minus A is equal to 5. If I'm looking at this, then I get minus x plus 2 is equal to 5, or I get minus x is equal to 3, or I get x is equal to minus 3. Is this satisfying with my given range? Yes. So I have a minus 3 and 5 as my required answer. 7. Okay. Sorry, minus 3 and 7 as my required answer. Clear? Now, when I go practically, now understand whatever is given on the right hand side becomes your distance to be traveled. So I repeat, x minus 2. What is the 0 of this point? X minus 2. The 0 of this point is, if I take x minus 2 is equal to 0, x is equal to 2, which means I'm sitting at a point called 2. So I'm sitting at a point called 2. My right hand side is the distance that I have to travel on my right and on my left. So I'm sitting at 2. I have to travel 5 units on my right. So 7 becomes 1 point. Travel 5 units on my left. So minus 3 becomes my other point. 7 comma minus 3 becomes my answer. Clear? Quick. Now we'll not go mathematically, we'll quickly understand the practical approach. So step number 1, find the zero of this nodal point. Find the node. So node is, if I take x plus 5 is equal to 0, which means you are at a value called minus 5. That is the distance that you have to cover on the right and on the left. So the easiest shortcut here is point number 2. Minus 5 plus 4 will be one of the points. Point number 3, minus 5 minus 4 will be the other point. That means I am at point number minus 1 or I am at point number minus 9. If you can visualize much better, I am standing at minus 5, 4 on my right, मतलब minus 1 जाएगा, 4 on my left, मतलब minus 9 हो जाएगा. Clear guys? Anybody with online? Any problem? Quick responses, online students?
Okay.
Wait. Slightly changed question. Pause, do mathematically, and then conclude logically. I repeat, you're not following the instructions. I will do mathematically and then conclude logically. Prove your own theory is right or wrong. You have to prove it. Minus 3 and 7 are okay. Reverse it. Reverse it.
7 minus
Let's go mathematically first, and then I'll explain you what is the shortcut of this. So the mathematical point is, first steps first, 2x plus 4 is greater than 0. So what do I get? I get 2x is greater than minus 4, or I get x is greater than minus 2. Clear? If x is greater than minus 2, then observe the way it is behaving. Okay, you have 2x plus 4 is equal to 10. Observe. I take a 2 common, this becomes x plus 2 is equal to 10. 2 1s are 2 5s are. In a way, you are at x plus 2 is equal to 5. Or in short, what do you get? You get x is equal to 3. Yeah. Similarly, now is this matching? Of course, yes, no problem. Second point, if 2x plus 4 is less than 0, all I get is I get x is less than minus 2. Clear? If x is less than minus 2, then what do I get? I get 2x plus 4 is again equal, sorry, minus of this. X mod a is equal to minus a is equal to 10. So let's write this as minus x minus 2 is equal to 5. Cancel 2. Okay. So what do you have? You have minus x is equal to 7 or x is equal to minus. Clear? So I have to be x less than equal to minus less than minus 2, and I'm getting the value of x is minus 7. Right? Observe this point, guys. Suddenly, what is happening? This 10 got converted to 5. Why did 10 got converted into 5? Earlier case, I was giving you x, let's say plus 2 is equal to, let's say 10. If I'm giving you x plus 2 mod is equal to 10, the coefficient of x is 1. Okay, I'm explaining you practically how do you do it. Now suddenly what has happened, if I'm giving you 2x, which means at that nodal point, you have two friends who are on a break. Are you getting it? So at that nodal point, you have two friends who are sitting at that nodal point. So what is the nodal? What is the zero of this point? So point number 1. So 2x plus 4 is equal to 0. So what do I get? I get 2x is equal to minus 4 or x is equal to minus 2. Okay, so you are sitting at a point which is minus 2 on the number line, not just you. So you and your friend, because the coefficient is both of you are on the same bike. Both of you have to together cover 10 kilometers. So if two of you have to cover 10 kilometers, which is on the right, 10 is on the right. That means each one of you will cover 5 each. So from minus 2, 5 on my right. From minus 2, 5 on my right will give me 3. From minus 2, 5 on my left. From minus 2, 5 on my left will give me minus 7. These are the two values that we got. Now this is what happens when the coefficient of x starts changing. Clear? So had it given you 3x, then I would say 3 of you are sitting there. Suppose I would change this, okay? Suppose I would now make this as, just for example, suppose I would have made this 9. Just for example. So at that nodal point, and this I would have made it as 3. Let's do this. Let's change the equation to mod of 3x, let's say plus 4, doesn't make a difference. 3x plus 4, let's say, is equal to. Let's find the node of this point first. The 0 of this point becomes what? 3x plus 4 is equal to 0, or 3x is equal to minus 4, or x is equal to minus 4 by 3. Should be very easy now, okay? So you are sitting at point minus 4 by 3, not just you 3, because the coefficient of x is 3. So 3 of you will together cover 9 kilometers. 3 of you together will cover 9, and each one of you will cover 3. So you are at this point. So you are at minus 4 by 3. You are going 3 on the right. Will be 1 point. Clear? And you are again at minus 4 by 3. You are going 3 on the left. These will be the 2 points of that required. Clear? Sure? Can I proceed, guys? Same question. Okay. 90. Sorry. Yeah, that's all. Inequality based. First, solve it as the equation. Okay. And then pull in the inequality. Guys, first things first, right? Give me the answer for this point first. X minus 3 is equal to 10 का value क्या आएगा? What are the points of x satisfying this first? I am sitting at point 3. I have to go 10 to my right. So understand on number line, okay? Or on a graph. Let us understand on graph. So 1 point is equal to 13. Second point is minus 7. Clear? Now forget this for the time being. The question says, what does the question talk about? That the mod has to be less than the value. So we discussed if it is less, that means you can cover any distance between these 2 points. Right? So if mod has to be less than 10, I repeat, you have to cover, let's say this, you're sitting at 3 color. You can cover any distance up to 10 units on the right. That means any value between this will satisfy. Clear? On the right. Same thing, you can cover any distance up to 10 units on the left. So any value up to this will also satisfy. Inequality says less than 10, so the endpoints are not included. So your answer here simplifiably becomes minus 7, comma 13 circular points. That is how you attack a linear inequality based points. Clear? So quickly assume that as equal to sign. I repeat again, if it is less than, you can travel any distance between those 2 points. If it is more than, you can travel distance away from those 2 points. Any doubts here from anyone? Sure, online students. Let's solve greater than or equal to 3. Quickly understand well equal to good. Must equal to good. That means I'm sitting at a point 10. I'm sitting at a point 10. I want to go 3. That means positive में क्या आएगा? 13 आ जाएगा. I want to go 3 on my left. That means negative left side में क्या हो जाएगा? 7. So it's something like this, you know, just on the graph. And these are the 2 values. Right? And you are sitting on 10. So it doesn't make a difference. So had the question told you less than 3, any zone, this zone would have been your. But the question not saying less than 3, the question is saying greater than or equal to 3, which means any value from here to positive infinity as well as any value from here to negative infinity will satisfy. Clear? So in short, your answer is going to be x is less than 7. Sorry, less than or equal to 7, because the sign is greater than or equal to 3. So 7 will also be included. Clear? Union x is greater than or equal to. This becomes your answer. Clear? Twenty-one. Think of a shot. Think of a shot. Okay, I'll give you. So guys, we're already done with 21. Give me the answer for this. Let's say x minus 4 is less than or equal to 10. Guys, we're done with the first one. Can you give the answer for this? X minus 4 is less than or equal to 10. Read the question carefully. The question is asking you how many integral values of x will satisfy. Mostly should be the last question of the day. Second one. Solve karo, give the short. 30 seconds. 21. Wait. Give me one more answer, okay? Exactly. I wanted to pick that up. See, understand now. If you understand a practical way of solving it, guys, you need not solve these. All the 3 questions are same. Now, why are they same? Understand? I am sitting at some nodal point here. कोई nodal point है. My first point is the node of this an integer? Yes. No problem. Is the node of this an integer? Yes, no problem. Is the node of this an integer? Yes, no problem. Okay, this is done. Next, right hand side is equal to 10. That means I have to cover 10 units on my right. If this is an integer, every unit will also be an integer. Agreed? It says less than or equal to. That means all these 10 units. All these 10 units will be considered, and I know that all the 10 units are integers on the right. Similarly, less than equal to, I will cover all the 10 units on my left. If this is an integer, each of the 10 units will also be an integer. That means all these values will also be considered. Don't forget where you are sitting. This is also an integer. So your answer becomes 10 plus 10 plus 11 for all the three questions. Got the point? So irrespective of whatever is here, you have to just see where are you sitting and how many points are you considering. Clear? Right? And that should be your required answer, or do the manual calculation. You can always do the manual calculation. Suppose I am talking about from 2, I have to cross 10 on my right, which means I am at 12. From 2, I have to cross 10 on my left, which means I am at -8, less than equal to sign है, तो ये आपका range हो जाएगा. Now calculate how many integers are there between this range. Right? So that is y minus x plus. Okay, so that becomes your 20 plus 1, that is 20. Okay, right? Should we do? Yeah, let's stop here. Let's stop here. The next class will continue from here and we'll cover up the next part of inequality. Thank you.
Any doubts, online students? So tomorrow we'll be off on the account of Vinayak Chaturthi. Right? So wish you all a very happy Vinayak Puja. Thank you, guys.